Hello everyone, welcome to Royal Palace online classes. Today I am going to discuss about potentiometer. So let us discuss about potentiometer now. This is a device. This is a device which measures EMF of a cell. It is going to measure electromotive force of a cell. So we can measure potential difference by using voltmeter, but whereas to measure EMF we have to use potentiometer only. So what is the difference between a voltmeter and a potentiometer is potentiometer will not draw any current from the battery or any current from the cell, and it measures EMF. So if you see here, you know that potential difference V is equal to E plus or minus IR depending upon charging and discharging. If it is charging, E plus IR. If it is discharging, E minus IR. Suppose if I is equal to 0, then what happens? V must be equal to E. So the ends of battery, if you are measuring the potential difference at the ends of the battery without drawing current from the battery or cell, then we can measure EMF of the cell, which is denoted by letter E. Now what is the principle of potentiometer? What is the principle of potentiometer? The principle of potentiometer is constant potential gradient. It maintains constant potential gradient. Constant potential gradient. See, in your first PUC also you already studied about temperature gradient. The word, whenever word gradient is there, some physical quantity varies with length. We can call it as pressure gradient, temperature gradient, and potential gradient. What is the meaning of potential gradient means? Suppose you consider a wire, a uniform wire of length L. Uniform wire of length L. One end you maintain at a potential V, other end you maintain at a potential 0. Now, if you consider some part of the wire, here potential is V, potential is continuously decreasing and it is approaching towards 0. Potential is continuously decreasing. We are starting at V, you are reaching at 0. Potential is continuously decreasing as the length progresses. That potential difference by length is called potential gradient. That means if you come across the concept of potential, the definition of potential is, what is the definition of potential? Potential is defined as the amount of work done per a unit charge against electrostatic force of repulsion. So here let us consider a positive charge is there. We are bringing a test charge towards the positive charge. Let us consider the distance is little bit x. The work done to reach a point, let us take instead of x, you take, let us take 1 meter distance is there. Initially I am at a distance of 1 meter. Now I am penetrating into the field of plus q. So if I cover 20 centimeters, assume if I cover 20 centimeters, I have done some work. Let us take W1. If I go little bit deeper, if I cover 30 centimeters, I have to do some more work. So W2 will be greater than W1. Let us consider two situations. I was at a distance of 1 meter. First I penetrated 20 centimeters. I have to do some work. If I penetrate, next time, again I am starting from the same point, I am penetrating 30 centimeters. they have to do more work. W2 is greater than W1. That means what? Work done when you are going deeper is increasing. That means with length, work done is varying. Similarly, potential difference also varies. So variation of potential difference with L, with length, is called potential gradient. So this is the principle of potentiometer. So once you see the device, you will understand. The principle of potentiometer is it maintains constant potential gradient. And how it is going to measure EMF of a cell? For that it follows zero current method. Zero current method is one more principle of potentiometer. It follows zero current method. It follows zero current method to measure the EMF of a cell. What is zero current method? Means let us take two cells having EMF E1 and EMF E2. Okay. The current in this circuit, I am measuring it by using a galvanometer. In this I fixed one galvanometer and I am measuring the current. Now if you see this cell, current from this cell will come in this direction. Current from in this cell also will come in this direction. So one current from first cell is in clockwise direction. The current from second cell is in anti-clockwise direction. So if you see the reading of galvanometer, assume I connected one galvanometer inside circuit, just for convenience I am drawing outside. If you see the reading of galvanometer, here one question arises, whether it shows clockwise or anti-clockwise. One current from first cell if I take I1, current from second cell if I take I2, whether this galvanometer shows clockwise current or anti-clockwise current, that depends upon the power, that depends upon not power, sorry, that depends upon the EMF of the battery. If EMF of first battery is more, it gives more current. When it is giving more current, this anti-clockwise current will dominate clockwise current, then galvanometer shows anti-clockwise current direction. Suppose if E2 is greater, then it shows current in this direction. So there will be two different directions of current inside galvanometer. So these two different currents are counteracting with each other. There may be a situation where I1 is equal to I2. If there may be a situation where I1 is equal to I2, then what happens? Galvanometer shows zero deflection. It shows zero deflection. It shows zero deflection. When it shows zero deflection, when I1 is equal to I2. That is possible only when E1 is equal to E2. When E1 is equal to E2. So that means when EMF of the first cell is equal to EMF of the second cell, then what happens is, galvanometer shows zero deflection. This is what the principle we follow to measure the EMF of a cell. So your net current will be zero, because one part is clockwise current, other part is anti-clockwise current, and E1 is equal to E2. In that case you will get zero deflection. This is called zero current method. So zero current method is used in potentiometer in order to measure EMF of a cell. Now here I have written V is equal to E plus or minus IR. What is this R here? V is equal to E plus or minus IR. This R is called internal resistance. Internal resistance. Internal resistance. E is called internal resistance. So what is this internal resistance? So you know that cell is made up of chemicals. It will have one anode and cathode. In between that there will be a solution, And when ions are moving from one that is from anode to cathode or cathode to anode, will generate electricity. This is what you know. The contents of the cell will also have internal resistance, because resistance is the inherent property of the body. Every body which is conducting will have resistance. So the contents of the cell will also have some resistance. So it opposes the flow of ions. So what is the function of resistor? It opposes the flow of current. That means it opposes the flow of charged particles. So that means here it opposes the flow of charges. Because of that, some resistance is developed inside the cell. That resistance we call it as internal resistance. So when you are measuring, when you are drawing any current from the battery, internal resistance also comes into play. So when if you are not drawing any current, then internal resistance will be, we are not flowing any current across the cell, we are not taking any current across the cell, then potential difference across the ends of the cell is considered as EMF of the cell. So this is the method how potentiometer is used. Potentiometer is a device which measures EMF. Potentiometer is a device which measures EMF. And what is EMF is, you already studied in cells. You know that potential difference is equal to E plus or minus IR, and principle of potentiometer is it maintains constant potential gradients across the wire which is present inside the device. It is a device which measures EMF, and it also follows zero current method in order to measure EMF of the cell. Now let us see the construction of potentiometer. Now let us see the construction of potentiometer. Let us see the construction of potentiometer. See here, potentiometer consists of a cell which is having some small internal resistance, which is connected to a external resistor, a rheostat which can vary its resistance, and which is connected to a wire. If you see your textbook, there will be some 10 layers of the wire, but here for your understanding I am drawing only a single wire. So how this wire is made? Several bundles of small wires, they wind together and they will make a wire of uniform thickness of length L, a wire of uniform thickness of length L and resistance RL. Okay, this is called primary circuit of potentiometer, PC, primary circuit. This is E0. So potentiometer consists of a cell of EMF E0 and internal resistance small r and a rheostat of resistance R and a wire of resistance RL, a uniform wire of resistance RL, all are connected in series. Now next we will take this cell whose EMF has to be determined. We will take this cell, let us take, I have taken a cell whose EMF is E. I will take this cell whose EMF has to be determined. This is connected to a galvanometer which is in turn connected to a movable pen, called jockey, So this is called secondary circuit. So in primary circuit, potentiometer consists of a primary cell, a internal resistance and an external resistance, and there is a wire of resistance RL, and here the cell whose EMF has to be determined, is always kept in secondary circuit. It is connected to galvanometer, it is connected to a movable pen which can move across the jockey. Now come here, this is the primary cell, this is the secondary cell. If I make current 0, the EMF across this I can measure. So let us consider here current is flowing. if I make current flow here as 0, then I can measure the EMF of the cell. That is zero current method. So what happens here, you can observe here how it works and how it can measure the potential difference across the cell. Now coming to working, now observe here this E naught, this R and this capital R, RL, all are in series. They are all are in series. So effective resistance will be equal to small r plus R, small r plus RS also you can write because it is connected in series. Sometimes you can write this as RS plus RL is the effective resistance. Now next what happens? You can find current across this circuit. You can find what current is flowing here. You can observe here carefully. The current across this circuit I can find. How I can find? According to Ohm's law, we can find V is equal to IR, I is equal to V by R. The potential difference across this circuit is connected to only one wire, that one cell, that is E naught. So I can write I is equal to E naught by small r plus RS plus RL. This is current. Okay. Now this current is flowing across this wire now. Now what we have to do next? Next you have to do is you take this jockey and move across this wire like this. You start moving this jockey from here. Initially let us take jockey is here. You start moving like this. You move like this and observe the reading in the galvanometer. Now this part of the wire acts like this cell here. If this potential difference is less, current is taken out from this battery. Current will be flowing. Some current is flowing. Now when you are moving this jockey, you reaches one point. Before that there will be current inside the galvanometer. Galvanometer will show current. Suppose if this current is greater, it will show current in this direction. Just now I explained. If current from this battery is greater, it will show current in this direction. Current from this battery, if it is greater, it show in this direction. Now when you are moving at a certain point called balancing length, which is equal to small l, this galvanometer shows zero deflection. When it shows zero deflection, according to zero current method, the potential difference, let us take galvanometer as shown zero deflection from point A to point B. Point B is the point balancing point. So AB is the length of this wire. So if this galvanometer shows zero deflection at point B, what you can write is what potential difference is there across A and B, that must be equal to EMF of the cell. This is the principle here. That's why current is not flowing here. Why current is not flowing here? Because E1 is equal to E2. Even in case of Wheatstone bridge, current galvanometer shows zero deflection. When it shows zero deflection, when there is no potential difference between the two ends. So here there is no potential difference here. Then B, let us take this point as C. There is no potential difference between B and C. That's why current is not flowing. So I can say potential of B is equal to potential of C, and these 2 points are directly connected. So this also, if I take this as D, so what potential difference is there across this wire, that same potential difference is there across this cell also. For that reason this galvanometer is showing zero deflection. So this point you have to understand very clearly. Sometimes some people will ask, let us start from A. Before balancing point, what is the direction of current? Before balancing point, what is the direction of current? Then you can tell the direction of before balancing point, what is the direction of current? The direction of current will be, this is the direction of current. Now what happens before balancing point, current will flow in galvanometer because there is some potential difference. After balancing point also we will have current, because initially this is having So initially this will have less potential. See, direction of current before balancing point and after balancing point, we can get the direction once after calculating the balancing length. So let us see here how to calculate balancing length. What we learnt just now is potential across AB is equal to EMF of the cell. That is very clear. What potential difference is there across A to B, that is equal to EMF of the cell. That's what we have made very clear. Okay. Now if I can find potential difference across the wire length AB, then I can get EMF across the cell. This is the condition. So potential difference across the wire length AB can be written as current across the wire and resistance of the wire up to the point AB, because you know that resistance is directly proportional to length. Resistance of total wire is RL. The resistance of total wire is RL. But resistance of this part means if this is the total wire, I am cutting this into two parts. So the resistance of this will be less. So if I can calculate the resistance of the wire up to that part and current across the wire, then I can get the potential difference. So potential difference across AB is equal to current is E naught, current is already there, E naught by small r plus RS plus RL into resistance across AB. Now resistance of total length is RL. If I want to calculate resistance up to small l, that you will get it as that resistance across AB will be equal to RL by capital L into small l. RL by capital L into small l. So this RL by capital L into small l you substitute there. This RL by capital L into small l you substitute there. RL by capital L into small l you substitute there. What you will get? EMF of this cell is equal to, that is potential across AB is equal to E naught by small r plus RS plus RL into RL by capital L into small l. Now if you observe this part is nothing but potential gradient. Why? Because this is current into resistance of the wire divided by its length. So this I can take it as K into L. So EMF is equal to KL, where K is equal to potential gradient. Potential gradient. K is equal to potential gradient. Now so from this what you can write, EMF of a cell is directly proportional to balancing length. So this is how potentiometer works. EMF of a cell which is directly proportional to length. So what we studied so far is potentiometer is a device which measures EMF and it will not draw the current. So when I said it is not drawing the current, you can observe here the current across the wire is not coming from this cell where I am measuring. So current is there in this wire, but it is not from the cell where you are measuring the EMF. Current is coming from the standard cell. Current across the cell, current in primary circuit is because of standard cell only, not because of the secondary circuit cell. So EMF, that's why we are measuring EMF here. No current is drawn from the battery. No current is drawn from the battery. No current is drawn. no current is drawn from the battery of which EMF is measured. That's why potentiometer can measure EMF of the cell. Now sometimes this potentiometer can measure the potential difference of very less value, its sensitivity. So what happens to its sensitivity? So sensitivity of potentiometer, sometimes they will ask, sensitivity is when length of the wire increases, sensitivity will be increased. How its sensitivity will be increased? You can see in this formula, potential gradient. Suppose the potential gradient is 0.1 milliampere, let us assume 0.1 milliampere, then I can measure from 0.1 milliampere. So on which factor potential gradient depends? It depends upon capital L. Suppose if potential gradient is 0.002 milliamperes, that means I can measure, 2 millivolts, 2 millivolts per, or 0.02 millivolts per meter. This also you can take per meter. So if it is 0.022 millivolts, I can measure from 0.002 millivolts also. So that is the principle. So sensitivity of a potentiometer will increase when you are increasing the length. When you can tell that it is more sensitive, when it is measuring very small currents or very small voltages, we can tell it is more sensitive. So this is how you are going to measure the current. And one more small question I raised already. So what happens before balancing length and after balancing length? Let us see what happens before balancing length and after balancing length. This is the wire. This point is A. Here you are having a cell in secondary circuit. There is a galvanometer. This is the jockey. Now let us take this point as D, this point as C. Now before balancing length, let us take the potential gradient as some 0.1 volt, let us take, per centimeter. Potential gradient K is equal to 0.1 volt per centimeter. Let us take it is having 100 centimeters. When I am starting, number of centimeters covered is 0. So here when I am starting, this wire potential difference here I will assume it as 0 only. No difference is created. Suppose if I stop at some 20 centimeters, let us take this as E. So if I stop at 20 centimeters, still it is not balanced, then the current of battery will come out. Battery will have more current. Before balancing point, E will be more than wire. Before balancing point, this is before balancing point. Before balancing point. But after balancing point, what happens after balancing point? Now, suppose this is having 10 volts, let us assume. You started from here. Once it reaches 10 volts, or you take some 2 volts it is. Once it reaches 2 volts, then what happens? Galvanometer shows 0 deflection. Afterwards, what happens? You are increasing the resistance of the wire. Afterwards, after balancing point, before balancing point, this is the condition. After balancing point, E will be less than the wire. So based on that condition, based on this condition, you can decide the direction of current. So sometimes they will question. In some exams they will question, before balancing point, what is the direction of current? After balancing point, what is the direction of current? Before balancing point, what happens? EMF of the cell will be greater than wire, then this battery will release the current. After balancing point, what happens? After balancing point also, current is flowing in the circuit. Once current is flowing, this battery discharges and current will be flowing across the wire. Once you get balancing point, this battery stops discharging. No current is taken out from the battery. So before balancing point, after balancing point, battery will discharge. But once you are at balancing point, this battery will stop discharging and charging. So before balancing point, it discharges. After balancing point, it gets charged. This battery will get charged after balancing point. Before balancing point, it is going to discharge the current. So it is going to get discharged. For that reason, EMF of the cell will be greater than EMF of the wire. Then EMF is less than wire. This is the condition. This is what is called, this is the theory regarding potentiometer. So in the next class, we will see the comparison of cells with potentiometer, and also to find internal resistance of the cell. We can find internal resistance of the cell by using potentiometer also. So we can find internal resistance of the cell by using potentiometer, and we can calculate or compare the cells. Different cells can be compared. E1 by E2 is equal to L1 by L2. That we will see in the next class. So please subscribe the channel, and if you have any things to comment, you can comment in the comment section. Okay, thank you for joining me.